Well, boys, we're back at it again. Unfortunately, we have stooped Corey down to our level to now be the most joined guest over here on the Grateful Nerd Collective, and we're very appreciative of him. Sorry that you have to deal with us again for this is I think the third time in a row.
Yeah, no,
but we appreciate it. Now, this is awesome because this is the first time we're getting together. This is the first time you're sitting here being able to talk to Paranoid on the show, but we've all got to meet recently. So this is awesome. We've actually all hung out within the past few weeks. So thanks for coming back, dude. We got a lot to
appreciate
talk
it.
about, man.
Yeah, no, it's getting close to harvest time, so
Yeah. So let's kind of I guess we'll go around first. I know we usually talk about what we're smoking on whenever we're here on the crew. Let's start with Corey. You got anything you're smoking on?
I don't have anything this morning. I can't smoke in my house either, but
Okay,
I did actually smoke some of Nerd's flower that he gifted me over last weekend, last night with a buddy of mine. The PT,
yeah.
What was the PT again?
Pineapple trees from Crossfire.
Nice.
Okay, yeah. No, it was super tasty. That was really good flour. So
Yeah,
I rolled up a spliff with a buddy of mine, and yeah, very enjoyed it very much.
Oh yeah. Nerd, what you got going?
I literally just grabbed the first jar behind me, so it is Orange Stomper.
Nice. Oh yeah.
I'm still just ripping through that. My head
Good
stash
stuff.
is getting kind of lowish, so I'm trying to like smoke what I have like the most of.
Yeah, and we do have some. We are going to get into that because you've had some trials and tribulations as of recently. So we will get into that later. Mr. Paranoid, what do you got, buddy?
I'm actually smoking on cherry banana bomb from joint custody that Captain Otto Flower grew.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, I picked it up from him during my Paranoid Freedom Tour.
Yeah, we got a bunch of talk about that, man. That was quite the event that you had, man. It was you were all over the place.
Yeah, like Johnny Cash. I've been everywhere, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. But yeah, so you guys can see I'm here in my new digs. We finally gave Nama the boot. She's out of here. So we took the room and I got my little setup over here. So I'm enjoying it. We're trying to get everything all figured out. My apologies if anybody's hearing my fan running. And if you start to see me sweat and I start to look like I'm struggling, it's because the AC's off and I just have a little fan just blowing air past me right here. So if I just pass out from a heat stroke, y'all will know why. So
heat stroke
is
get grateful a shot of pussy.
New sponsor, pussy.
Pussy energy drink.
So one of the biggest things, man, that obviously anytime I can get with you, Corey, is I just love talking about gardening. Obviously a bunch of us, we all grow cannabis, but anytime I can ever pick your brain about veggies and this and that, I always do. It's just something I enjoy talking with you. And recently, the first meetup that we had was with Paranoid. We ended up coming over to your place while he was on his freedom tour. He ended up coming to stay at my place, and we took a trip over to your place and saw what you had going on in your garden, man. Tell us a little bit. We're kind of peak season right now, I guess, as you would say, right? Like there's everything's growing in your garden. Talk about your garden a little bit, man.
Yeah. So we're in peak growing season right now, and I got a good amount of stuff going this year. Doing my outdoor auto trial. I got a hoop house that's rocking out, and I can't wait to drop a little bit more about what's going on in there. But keep it under wraps for now. I also, we have peppers going and tomatoes, and then I got my new field that's rocking over down the street. So yeah, a lot of stuff growing right now.
Everything's looked great. There was the tobacco. Of course, we're going to get more into tobacco talk and all that later on. But man, like that patch you have and those leaves. I mean, obviously this is my first year growing, and I'm not always great with keeping up with like the pest management stuff. So some of my leaves are kind of eaten up. But coming over to your garden, man, it's always like, oh shit, look at that. Like, those are perfect leaves. They ain't all chewed up. And they were some impressive plants, man. Mine did not get that tall. Some of them are getting close, but yours were fucking huge.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, that bed's been going for a while now, and I've tried to grow other stuff there, and it's not done as well. The tobacco, just whatever reason, does excellent there. So I'm just gonna keep it going. Yeah.
Is there anything that kind of would point to that direction? Like why is it you reckon that that tobacco would be doing so well in that area?
Well, I know why other stuff didn't do as well. Those were because I had the property terraced. So that area was like, excavator came in, basically scraped off all the topsoil. There's a bunch of like just rock and ledge underneath. So that got broken up. So it was pretty shallow, like not very good draining soil for a long time. So I tried planting garlic there a couple of years ago, and I didn't get big heads at all. But the year before that, I did tobacco. And that did well. So I've just kind of stuck with tobacco since then.
Okay. Yeah, actually that's I've got some of your tobacco here right now. And I have not been able to put it down since you gave it to me. I've tried to roll some blunts. I'm terrible at it. I mean, I'm not god awful. Like I can definitely roll a blunt with this stuff better than I can roll a joint. But I've found kind of what I've been doing is I've been just taking like a little piece of leaf out, and then I've been taking some scissors and just kind of chopping it up real small. And I guess, rolling it within a joint. So I guess, is that technically a spliff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing. And I rather enjoy it.
Yeah, that's my preferred way to smoke if I'm by myself. If there's a larger group of people, I know some people don't like tobacco in joints. They don't like spliffs, but for some reason, everyone's fine with a blunt. So
yeah, that doesn't
I don't know
any
how that works, but whatever.
It's funny. It just gives it like this little extra something. I don't know exactly what to put my finger like to say exactly what it is, but it's just a little bit, just a little different.
Yeah, a little bit different flavor to it, and the feeling is definitely a different feeling. I know Kumar always says that everything looks brighter when he smokes a blunt. So I guess you could chalk it up to the tobacco.
It's like it's like poppier. Like
yeah.
Like I get that.
Just gives you that little extra push, just above it, just a little bit more.
But yeah, there's some tricks too for rolling blunts if you ever want me to show you.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to talk about it. We're gonna definitely have to talk about it. I'm looking out at my patch out back, and I'm like, I didn't grow enough. I don't know how am I going to make it till next year with this? And I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to hit up Corey. I'm coming by. We're doing some trades, or we're doing something. I need to get my supply because now that I'm doing this, man, like I actually really, really enjoy it, and I don't see wanting to smoke it any other way.
Yeah. And then you'll end up like me, where I have just totes of tobacco in my garage that I have no idea what I'm going to do with. But
I know exactly what you're going to do. We're going to talk later on about that.
All right.
But yeah, man. Yeah. So what was this tobacco that you ended up giving me here?
I think it was the Keller, or it might have been the Yellow Twist Bud. I forget, but they're so similar. It's hard for me to tell them apart if I don't label them, but they're pretty similar. It's a Maryland type or a Burley type, which very similar.
I love the smell of this tobacco. Like it's just like this sweet sort of like, I don't know what it is, but it's so good.
And that's aged a year too. So that age definitely mellows it out, brings the flavor out more. So
no kidding.
Yeah.
No kidding. Well,
yeah, I've been rolling blunts with it too. It's been that good.
Nice.
There you go.
I'm grateful. I can roll blunts fairly
yeah.
well.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Thanks. So the biggest thing that I found, so I can with the natural, like with regular blunts, like the whole busting things open and then rolling it up that way, I've never been good at. Like the wraps, I've never been good at. I just my fingers fumble or whatever it is. But with these, even before this, for a little bit, I enjoyed smoking backwoods. And I found that I could actually roll backwoods because of the, the fact of like laying it down on the table. And that's kind of how you did it. And I was always able to do it that way. So when we were hanging out for that recent cookout, and you showed kind of how to do it, I was like, oh, fucking perfect. Like, I'm not going to have any problem rolling this. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it was weird. Like, it would just like either I'd be too rough with it, or like it would just seem like it would just get hung up, and I'd have like little pockets where it didn't want to like pull through. And then the sealing of it was what I had a problem with.
Yeah, so I was gonna say the sealing part. There's a trick. You can use either xanthan gum or like a pectin and make a little paste out of it, and then use that to seal the seam. That's what they do in cigar rolling. So yeah, do the same thing. I mean, you can try to like do the lick and stick, but because there's no gum, it doesn't really work with leaves that thick either. Like a lot of the wraps aren't actual leaf; they're pressed tobacco, so it'll actually kind of stick together if you try to do that. But with actual tobacco, it's just going to come undone most of the time.
So now, what do we refer to when you're saying like pressed tobacco? Like it's some sort of processed way that they do it?
Yeah.
Like when you get a blunt wrap, it's like a fruit roll up. It's not an actual leaf.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. They just, you ever make paper in like kindergarten where they just take the paper pulp and you smash it? That's basically how they make blunt wraps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I do the lick and stick, but the corner of the wrap that I lick, I hold that part while I'm smoking.
Yep, that works too.
Yeah, and then it's just the other thing too. Like I guess with me, like I'm sitting there and I'm like trying to roll it, and it's like you're rolling it and you're like you're licking it all over. You're sticking it in your mouth. And you're like,
So when I went over his house, I brought just the vanilla Dutch just to see if I could still do it. And yeah, he just sat there and just watched me like deep throat this cigar to get it moist enough.
Yeah, buddy, I can't wait to smoke your saliva and that little bit of weed we got in there. But yeah, so excuse me. The cookout, man. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that was able to make it out there. There was a shit ton of people that showed up. I think at the beginning, it was something like we had invited like 19 people. I think at the end of the day, we had 15 that showed up. So big shout out to Bearded Wood CT. He came out. Cosmic, Dolly, Hunter, Tig, Nerd. Of course, you, Corey. We had Smoked Hitman and Reefer Reaper. Of course, and then Hunter had his family and we had a good time, man. It was
Joe Mama.
Yeah. My mom. Yeah. So Nama Potter was able to make it. We made everything work, man. It was really cool. It was funny because when I'm planning it, I was like, shit, now we gotta feed all these people. I was like, I have no idea how I'm gonna do this. My wife's like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, how many people are you inviting? Like, we're never gonna be able to recover from this get together, like financially. And I was like, all right, well, let's see if we can do like a potluck type thing. And everybody showed out. Everybody brought awesome stuff. I could not have done the party without every single person that showed up. And it was awesome. We all got to sit around. We were all smoking and joking. It was a blast. Y'all got there and we hung out for a handful of hours. So it was really fucking cool.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. Thanks for hosting. And it was cool to see your garden and actually get together and got to meet Nerd too. So that was good.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I know I was sitting over there quiet for a while. I was by the end of the night, I was a little
there was definitely overconsumption. We all enjoyed ourselves. We all had a great time. And that was the first time that I really got to experience homegrown tobacco and got to enjoy it with you. You masterly rolled that blunt there. When I looked at it, I was like, holy shit. Yep, my blunts are not going to look like that. And it smoked perfectly. Everybody enjoyed it, and it was so smooth. It was, like that when you smoke the backwoods or other type of tobacco products like that. It's heavy. You can feel it, but it was like it was barely even there. Um, it was really good, really fucking good.
Thanks.
And
I
then
like seeing how small your grow room is.
yeah, it's the
So I've been-
story of my fucking life, dude.
Yeah.
Every time someone's come over, it's been like, oh, this is a lot smaller than I thought. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, you think I've been editing videos of that room for over a year, and I literally thought it was 4 times bigger.
Yeah, I was going to say the camera adds 2,000 square feet to the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the other part is so I use city pickers and he uses earth boxes, and earth boxes are thinner. So I think my perspective was off because I'm like, oh, he has 4 earth boxes lined up side by side. So that's 8 feet right there, when really it was like 5 feet,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's it's definitely not as large as most people think, right? Like I mean,
Yeah.
but
Just like they said in high school.
yeah, right. Like I said, it's a story of my fucking life, brother. But it was fun, and it was kind of bummed, right? So like my grow is down. So it wasn't like I was like wanting to like shuffle everybody in and be like, hey, check it out. It's
Check out this tarp floor.
Yeah, all the lights are off. It's like there's nothing going on. But I was like, Nerd's coming over. He's got to see it. I was like, he's been watching me in that room for quite some time now. And yeah. So I'm glad you at least got to see it, man.
Yeah. It was very surprising. You weren't lying about all the clay dust, because I went downstairs barefoot and then I tracked footprints across your house.
It's fucking everywhere. Yeah. If you want to become a hobbyist potter or think that you're going to have a studio in a spare room in your house or your basement, and you are not super anal about cleaning things, you're going to get fucking clay dust everywhere. That's just part of it. And we're starting to get it cleaned up, but yeah, it's everywhere, dude.
Get the shop back out.
Yeah. And then speaking of small things, we ran into a little bit of an issue. It was more so my wife felt uncomfortable. We were going to
the small thing.
With the small thing. Yes.
Yeah.
I've always been the Weber kettle grills, right? Like that's what I have. And I guess in my mind, I wasn't thinking, oh yeah, this is not going to be big enough to cook a meal for 15 people. And my wife and my mom's get talking, and the day before, my wife and I were over at Walmart, and we had gone to the grill section to go look to go pick up some briquettes to do the cookout the next day. And we went just kind of walking around, and Walmart has their floor models all for sale. So we were looking at the Blackstones, and we're like, oh yeah, that'd be so cool. And they were marked down. It was like $200 for a 36-inch Blackstone, right? And they were like, no, we shouldn't be spending our money that way, this and that. And we stood in that aisle for like 45 minutes, and we ended up walking out without getting it. The next day, everybody starts filing in. I think Corey, you were there at that point. Kumar was there. Nerd was there. And we're all just kind of hanging out. And my wife looks at me. She's like, we're going to get the Blackstone. I was like, we're cooking in 2 hours. Like, you realize like there's like a method that you have to like season this and kind of get it ready for cooking. Like, if you're going to get it, like you better go now. Like, we're cooking in a couple hours. And so she took off, and we're all in the backyard. I think Corey and I, all of us were actually standing out in the garden at that point. We were kind of talking in the garden, and my wife, she comes and she hollers back at me. And sure enough, she brought home that nice Blackstone. And I've already cooked a couple meals on it, throughout the week.
It's pretty nice. I like it.
I'm so jealous.
Dude, I'm telling you, if you want to be able to just, dude, it's so easy to cook on. It's learning new skills, right? Because like I'm used to doing stuff on open, but I also cook a lot of stuff on the griddle inside, right? Like we have a little standalone griddle that you kind of plug into the wall. And I always like making breakfast on that because it's really easy to just have this larger area to cook everything instead of having like 3 different pans, right? Now I've got this big, huge surface, man. And like we cooked breakfast the other day. So like I put the bacon on it, got that going, then cracked all the eggs in it. But yeah, man, get you one. If you're on the fence of getting a Blackstone, get one.
Yeah, eggs on a regular grill suck.
Yeah, they're not.
Click.
Yeah, just
Where'd it go?
Yeah.
everything just smells like sulfur now. God. Yeah, I would like that because that's something that's kind of hard to do on the grill is like sauteing onions and stuff.
Yep.
So like sometimes I bring a cake pan out and I'll like saute onions on the top rack, but just having like the flat top is really nice.
It is. It is.
Or else I would have been inside. You would have been on the Weber grill and I would have been inside with a frying pan. So we could go twice as fast. That was the plan B.
Yeah.
I'm
So
boiling hot dogs like a bunch of like I'm feeding kindergartners.
The main meal we ended up doing hamburgers and we had hot dogs as well. And then Hunter ended up bringing some chicken skewers. They were like these marinated chicken chunks and, put it on skewers. And they were really, really good. I think it's like either like a restaurant he works for or something like that. But then we ended up having some more because he left another package for us. And we had some the next night. And yeah, really fucking good.
One thing I really liked about your party was I got to see your wife and your mom roast you. Because normally it's you at my house and my mom and my wife are roasting me.
Right.
We have very similar family structures.
Yeah, it's something that they seem to enjoy. And I've even made jokes on here before. Like that's who my wife is. Like my wife likes to get like around my friends or if we're in like a group and she just likes to like stab the knife in just a little bit, like, haha, look what I can do. Like, like
yeah, she's so funny.
Yeah, she's a good one though. So
I was telling everyone about your like Southern Belle alligator.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I love that so much.
So some folks may not know, but my wife, she, I guess kind of us, but she likes to collect all these different types of things, right? So we have like face masks that are on the wall. We have different, like she'll collect different teapots and stuff like that. One of her things is she likes to get taxidermy stuff, right? So she has all different types of taxidermy, and the Southern Belle alligator that he's talking about is like what is it, like a foot and a half tall, basically like it's a doll with like these long black curly.
It looks like a porcelain doll, but it's like the way it's dressed and everything, but it's just the alligator instead of porcelain.
Yep. So it's the doll, the arms and everything, the hair, but just the head of a crocodile. So, yeah,
it's very
interesting stuff. that picture that you got of me, dude. Like, so I'm standing there in front of the griddle, and I think he had posted it in Discord, but it was I didn't realize that he was taking a picture of me. Like I was standing there cooking, and I had like this like miserable look on my face,
like like cartoonishly miserable look.
And I didn't realize, like, so like the way I was standing, he was just far over enough that I thought that he was like shooting down into where like everybody else was. So I just kind of looked at him and was like, and it was a perfect shot. So that was fucking hilarious. You got anything you want to talk about from the from your little freedom tour that we got to hang out on? Mr.
You want me to give you a nerd answer?
I mean,
no.
That's I would expect.
No.
And we're moving on.
I'm just kidding. No. It was good. I had a wonderful time. No pun intended.
He said it. He said the thing.
It would be off brand if you didn't have a wonderful time.
Oh, no. It was great, dude. I know I briefly talked it over with you in your bush.
Yes.
When I was there.
Coming to hang out there.
Yeah, your bush was a little moist, but it is what it
was
is.
Very welcoming and comforting. Thank you very much.
No, but it was really neat being able to go up there and meet all the people. I know, and during our interview of the bush, we did leave out meeting up with Master Yoda. He did come over to the house.
Because I think at that point when we were recording, he wasn't locked in for coming over to hang out at that point, and that's why, right?
No, we'd hung out with him, and we were so stoned that we completely forgot about it. I was like, and I felt so bad after the fact because like I watched the video, I'm like, where's Master Yoda? Like, we ate dinner with the dude. Why didn't we talk about it? Jesus. True.
Damn stoners, yeah.
Yeah, but we did get to meet up with him, and that was fun.
He's a great guy.
He really is a great dude. Like, I enjoyed my time with him. He's very funny.
Yep.
He did like it's the cannabis is the talking stick for sure.
Sure.
So getting him talking, it was just fun just to sit there and listen to him ramble about different stuff.
Oh yeah, very very interesting guy. I'm very very fortunate to have him as a local grow me. So we got to smoke some of his flower. He's a great guy all around. Definitely enjoyable to hang out with.
For sure. And then like you mentioned, we got to go right over and meet Phocas, and I got to see his garden.
Let's talk about the pizza incident before.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
On our way out to go see him. So Connecticut, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of the pizza. I am from New Jersey, so I kind of have a bias towards the New Jersey, New York City style pizza. That's what I like. Up here in Connecticut, it's a little bit different. And I've been trying to find my place. Haven't quite found it just yet. We thought we found something, and we were driving around, and I said, well, Paranoid, let's go down, let's grab some pizza before we head over to Corey's. And drove all the way there. It's not like it was close. We were going, it was like a 20 to 30 minute drive. We get down there, they're closed. So we're like, all right, there's another one a few minutes down the road. Let's just go hit that. We get there and we order, we wanted the slice, right? Like, to me, when you go to a pizza joint, you're able to walk in there and say, all right, I want 2 slices of pepperoni, or I want whatever it may be. A lot of places don't do that. So we had to order a whole pizza, huh, dude?
Yeah, dude. It was greasy as fuck.
Eating it in the car. So I'm driving, right? And he's sitting next to me with the large pizza sitting on his lap.
Yeah, man.
And it's hot as fuck, right? Like he's like, it's burning my legs. He's like, you could see the grease rolling through the pizza box, like onto his leg. And I was like, oh man, I'm so sorry. And then like, we're trying to like pick it up. The cheese is just sliding off of it. And it was not good driving pizza.
No, not at all, dude. It was horrible. It was messy. Like, we had, luckily they given us some napkins, so we were okay, but that son of a bitch was leaking all over my shorts. Like,
I was surprised we didn't show up to Corey's with just like this like pizza and grease all in our beards, all over our like.
I had a grease spot on my shorts. I'm surprised he didn't notice. Like, yeah.
No, I think when you guys showed up, you were like something about a pizza, and you're like, yeah, my pants, and I was just like, what? I don't know. I didn't.
We're just gonna like, all right, story be up front, like, so it doesn't look weird. Like,
I was freaking out, bro.
So we went out to dinner last weekend, and we ordered my son the like kids menu pizza. Okay. And it was like a full size pizza. Oh, shit. And he ate all of it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
And like my son's 5, and he's like incredibly ripped and muscular. He has a 6-pack. Like
he's a quick little guy.
Yeah. So he ate the whole thing. So he gets 4 slices in, and then he has to go to the bathroom, and then he's peeing, and he goes, "Oh God, that feels so good." I go, yeah, peeing feels good sometimes. And he goes, no, all the pizza in my belly, and I still got 2 slices left. And then he walked out and just hammered the last 2 slices of pizza. And then I was like, God damn. I'm like, your stomach's not even that big. How did this happen?
Jesus.
Oh,
Like
That's
a little
we got to
man.
get together and just crush pizza.
No,
Crush it.
I mean, you guys sound muscular. Like the moment he met Paranoid, he was like, hold my hands, does a backflip off him.
dude, yeah, man. He literally used me as a jungle gym. First 5 seconds of meeting him.
That's great. But yeah, so we had our road pizza. We went across the state, got to hang out with Corey. You got to see his garden. So I'll let you take it from there.
We got to tour Phocas's farm. And I'm honestly, I was like really stoked about that hoop house that you had. And then you actually mentioned to me that it was from Tennessee.
Yep. Yeah. Farmer's Friend, man. So that's, if you're going to go with a hoop house, that's the brand I recommend for sure.
And where'd you find out about them?
They're just kind of well known in the small farming community for making quality products. They do a bunch of other stuff too. Like they make flame weeders and they have all sorts of different, farming implements and kind of infrastructure stuff that they build. So, yeah.
Right. And the size of that hoop house that you got, what is that again?
That one is 14 by 40.
Okay. And you'd mentioned before that you can get it in multiple sizes, right?
Yeah. So that one's just the regular like Quonset hut style. And then you can because I have another one by them at my other property that's 15 by 50. And then, like I was saying, you could just get them in whatever, length you want. But they also have like the Gothic style arch. They got a bunch of different ones now. So you could actually, because my greenhouses, when they weren't making they were just making high tunnels for a while. So my greenhouse, I had to like retrofit, but now they make like actual fully functional, like heatable greenhouses too. So I think they have they're up to like 5 or 6 different styles. But yeah,
I don't know if you know this, but the Gothic style ones actually come with a Depeche Mode vinyl.
What
Worth
the fuck?
every penny.
Lord, speaking of penny, how much did you pay for that?
That one was like $3,200 with everything, and that's with the shade cloth. And what else did I get? Oh, and those the 2 zip up side wall, or not the side, the 2 zip up side walls. Because like normally,
really, really sturdy.
Yeah, speaking of sturdy, you had like experienced storms with it. It seems like it holds up okay.
Yeah, they like I was saying, they have different styles. So like I have the wind braces too on either end, which are just like bars that go across the hoops to keep them in place. But like for you're down south, so you don't have to worry about the snow. Most of the time, they recommend doing the Gothic style because it's got a peaked roof, so the snow sheds off. But I just go around with a broom and just take the snow off if we get like a bad snowstorm.
So you leave that up during the winter?
Yeah. Both my houses are up, all year long. So I don't heat them during the winter. My greenhouse I don't start heating until March. But yeah, they're up all winter.
Nice.
Since we're talking about it, about tilling, what are your thoughts on tilling?
Yeah, so I've gone back and forth. I now do tilling. I don't do like very deep tillage. I'm not going any more than like 4 to 6 inches. If I'm going to turn over like a new field, it's going to be like 6 inches. But if it's something that's an already established plot, I'm going 2 to 4. So it's basically surface tillage, but I also do cover cropping. So I'm not like just tilling it and leaving bare soil all year long. Although now I do in between my pass, just because I don't know. I've tried doing no till small scale is extremely hard, unless you're just going to do like a standard garden. So I'm kind of in between, like doing large acreage farming and doing like garden size. So doing the no till is what's that?
It's a big garden.
Yeah, and I have The one at my house you guys saw was I think it's 40 by 60, and that's one of 5. So for me to manage 5 plots, or no, actually the one at my actual field is even larger than that. So that's 3/4 of an acre. So it's hard to, yeah. I don't have a tractor, so like I said, no till is great if you're doing like what Grateful's doing in like raised beds, then you could totally do like a no till. But yeah, I don't think it really harms the soil as much as people think if you're managing your soil properly to begin with. It's when you're just like continuously turning it over, not doing any cover cropping, not putting down any compost, just doing salt based fertilizers. That's where you run into problems.
Right. What type of compost do you put in your tilled garden?
So I use a few different types of compost. My main source is New England compost. Very good company, but it's pretty expensive. So like when I do a newer area, I have a alpaca farm that I used to help out on. So I go there and I grab manure from them. I got them to start doing a composting system. So they have a lot of nice aged composted manure. So they let me just fill my truck as much as I want. So that's what I use.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. What type of cover crop do you use?
It depends on the time of year and kind of how large the area is. But lately I've been really liking radish, daikon radish. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they make a pretty long, pretty thick root that goes deep down into the soil. So that helps, first of all, it keeps the top layer in place because you got nice roots, but then it's also a nice root going down. So when those decompose, you're bringing down, organic matter, and then you're bringing up nutrients and, moisture from the lower in the soil up to the surface. So I really like radish. It also winter kills. So that works well. Some cover crops won't winter kill, especially if you're doing like a winter rye. So in the springtime, you get this pretty aggressive grass. So that's what I was saying. Like if you're doing small scale, in between large tillage, but not quite a raised bed garden, it's difficult to manage. What do you do with the 60 by 60 plot of grass growing? Now you have to kill it somehow or plant into it somehow. So
now, are you running that cover crop full season, or are you doing like, okay, early season, then we're terminating it, covering it, compost, and then going from there? Or how do you utilize the cover crop throughout your grow?
yeah, mostly late summer and winter. Like my new field, I did winter rye in the fall, and then in the springtime tilled that in. But like for example, for late summer, I just harvested all my garlic. I don't have a seed crop to put in there. So I had a bunch of, barley? No. What did I do? Oh, buckwheat and daikon radish. So I put a bunch of that down. I'm going to water it in. Like I said, it'll come up. The buckwheat I'll probably let it go to seed if it does. If it doesn't, then I'll probably just weed wax the top, and then daikon radish will stay there, and then it'll all be gone by the time spring rolls around. So it'll be all winter killed.
Cool.
Something that Grateful and I were talking about when I was there was comfrey, and I know we talked about it a little bit about it there, but I was going to get your insight on growing comfrey, because for me, I've never grown anything other than tomatoes and cannabis, so I'm new to everything.
Okay. Yeah. What's your plan for the comfrey? Why do you want to grow it? Just for like
I would like to use the benefits out of it. So, but I don't really know anything about growing it. So that's my thing.
Super easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Well, so my advice with comfrey is if you're going to use it, I guess what I was getting at is like, you want to use it as like a medicinal plant, or do you want to use it as like a chop and drop, or like as a way to increase fertility?
A medicinal.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, what I would recommend is getting the, it's referred to as like the blocking type. Basically it's a sterile comfrey, and it'll pretty much stay in the place that you plant it. Like the crown of the plant it'll kind of expand over time. But the issue with comfrey is if you plant like a non-sterile variety, you're going to get comfrey seed everywhere, and it is pretty aggressive. So you're going to be, like I said, you're just going to have it everywhere, and it's perennial too. So it's nice to have the sterile type where if you plant it in a spot, it's going to stay there. It's really not going to go anywhere else. So that's the type that I plant on my farm.
Okay. Is it easy to transplant?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Tough. They are super tough.
Yeah. You can even like dig up the roots and seriously just chop up bits of the roots and just plant them in pots, and you'll have within a few months you'll have another plant.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Kumar actually brought me some of your comfrey one day. So like I already had some in a it was like a little 5-gallon or 10-gallon like rectangle pot, right? And I had some comfrey that came in that I planted from seed. And Kumar came by and gave me some root cuttings. It was literally just like probably from like the root to where the top of the leaf was, like that big, just a few inches. And I planted it in there, and all the leaves just started dying. And I was like, well, I guess that's it. It's done. And then all of a sudden, just like a week later, boom, they were just sprouting up, and it has been a crazy vigorous plant. I took them out of that, planted them right in the ground, and they are just raging. So yeah, they are some tough plants. And then like when I've already harvested them early in the season, I cut them all back till there was just like a couple leaves, so it was still able to do its thing. And they just came right back like I did nothing. So they are a tough plant.
For sure. That's easy to grow. And I don't know if I've used it medicinally too. I sprained my ankle once pretty bad, and I was making a poultice out of it and putting it on my ankle, and it definitely helped. So great.
Now,
it's a great plant.
In what way are you able to use them medicinally? Just as like a topical, like you put the leaf on there, or what do you do?
Yeah, comfrey is known for helping with, like I was saying before, things like external, like skin irritations, any types of like stings, bruises, sprains, stuff like that. Some people do make a tea out of it and drink it, but I've heard it can potentially have problems, like interact with your liver and not be good. But I don't know in what quantities you'd have to drink it. But yeah, I've only used it topically.
Something else I was going to ask you is, what are some fruits that you suggest to grow that would like be easy for a garden?
I mean, for you could grow a ton of stuff, man. Like especially like raspberries and fruit trees for you is like great. Peach trees, stuff like that. I mean, it honestly kind of just depends on what you want to do.
Yeah, I've actually I noticed the other day that I have a walnut tree right here in my front yard.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I actually have a few of them. So, of course, I've been worried about getting hit by them because they're huge. They're ridiculously huge.
Yeah, I mean, you could do pecans and stuff where you're at. So, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Which plants do you generally top besides tobacco? I know y'all, doing the tobacco grow along, and y'all had to top the plants. I haven't really topped a whole lot myself, so I was wondering, what are some more plants that you have to top?
I don't know. I can't really think of anything. I mean, cannabis if you're doing pruning and stuff, but yeah, no. Specifically, like you would with tobacco, I'd have to. I don't know off the top of my head. That's a very specific.
I know.
Use case.
This was me like sitting here thinking of like, man, I got some like crazy questions. I got
do they recommend that you top pepper plants? I didn't top any of my pepper plants, but I think that's kind of like a common thing that people will say, right? Like when you're growing peppers.
Yeah, where people say to pinch off the first few flowers. Honestly, I don't think I've really seen a difference.
Okay.
You normally with plants, it's like you're not necessarily topping them. You want to harvest whatever fruit they're producing, like peas or beans or something like that, so that way they keep producing flowers. Same thing with cucumbers, because otherwise, obviously these are annual plants, and their kind of goal is to make seed for the next year. So if they've made seed, a lot of times the plant's like, all right, well now I'm done.
Yeah.
So if you're removing the fruits which are going to produce the seed, then the plant keeps making flowers. Yeah, I can't think of anything like you would specifically top it. Well, so I just think of one thing would be Brussels sprouts.
Oh shit.
Those I usually top, in mid to late August. So yeah, because what'll happen is you'll top them, and then obviously like the Brussels sprout itself is it's just like a leaf. It's at the node.
Yeah,
right.
So by topping them, right, the leaves are gonna want to produce. It's gonna want to produce more leaves because you're getting rid of the atypical dominance. Yeah.
Okay.
Or the Yep.
Huh.
A local gromie of mine, Mushroom Magicians, he ended up giving me a few cuts of his blackberries.
Nice.
And I was going to go ahead and set them up. I was going to get y'all's suggestion on how I should like make a vine for these, I don't know really know what to do. I know like a fence or something like that.
Yeah, my suggestion with any kind of cane fruit like raspberries or blackberries is make sure you can get to both sides of it or all sides of it. Like once you start planting berries against like fences, then like the other side of that fence, you're going to have like canes that want to go like underneath it and up. And it gets hard to manage if you can't access like the back of the area.
Okay.
Because that way too, like if the berries like they start to get out of control and they're sending runners like into the lawn or something, you can always just like kind of edge it out and kind of keep them contained. So
they're pretty aggressive, right? They'll start spreading pretty quickly.
Oh yeah. Especially blackberries and stuff like that. So that's my advice. And then if you want to keep them kind of like up, I would do like a trellis or something along either side of them, so the canes kind of drape over it. Something that's you can kind of like either remove easily, or something that you can at least like get around. I wouldn't do like a straight fence or something. More just like some T-posts and some wire or something like that.
That's a good idea.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Yeah. What are some good companion plants that you suggest to grow together?
Personally, I don't think the companion plant thing there's really a whole lot to it. I feel like there's plants that grow well together, but not that are really going to help each other. So I would just kind of take into consideration more size and like growing environment more than like trying to place plants together. Like what I'm getting at is like a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to plant a bunch of marigolds around my garden because it's going to ward off pests, and it's not going to do that at all.
Not as effective as we may think.
No, it's not effective at all. I mean, it looks nice, and marigolds do great because they're they grow low to the ground. So if you're going to grow a giant tomato, sure, plant some marigolds around it. It's going to look really good, and it's going to bring in beneficial pollinators, and so yeah, as far as companion planting that way, that's a perfect example of. But it's not going to like, oh, I'm not going to have any pests now because I planted marigolds at the bottom. But like things like
crushing our dreams, dude. Crushing our dreams over here.
But no, like things like normally what I'll do if I'm doing just like a personal garden, I got some tomatoes. They're in cages or something like that. I'll do basil at the bottom. Tomatoes and basil, they taste well together. Basil's going to stay shorter. They both like full sun. They both do well in more just standard garden soils. So yeah, stuff like that is what I'd more or less recommend. Or if you're going to do like, oh, I'm going to do a row of peas. At the base of the peas, you could do like a bunch of lettuce because they both can be planted pretty early in the season. They're depending on what type of lettuce you're planting, or even radishes, because you might get another frost or two. So yeah, I try to think of it more in that way, as more as space, climate, than like plants helping each other.
Right. All right. Which plants should not be grown near each other?
Any aggressive plants. So don't put comfrey at the base of your raspberries, because that's just
you're gonna be fighting them to the death.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, just take it in space and climate. So I wouldn't plant like any like bulbing or root crops at the base of plants that are they're going to be disturbed when you're going to harvest them. Like I know a lot. There was like this whole thing like there's this whole book called like what's it, Carrots Love Tomatoes or something like that, and there was a lot of stuff about companion planting. But looking through, I'm like, I don't know why you would necessarily plant carrots at the base of tomatoes when you're ripping up all these carrots. You're kind of disturbing all the tomato roots at the at the base of the plant, so it doesn't seem like a really good idea. Just stuff like that. So yeah, don't plant onions and beets around like your lettuce.
Isn't there, like, I felt like I was looking at, when we were originally putting the garden together, and it was like, okay, you don't want to put like brassicas next to tomatoes, or like there's certain vegetables that do better if they're not around each other. They either compete with the roots, or some sort of like chemicals that they send in the root zone that kind of fucks up other plants or something like that.
Yeah, I would say it's more root competition for something like that. I mean, there are certain trees, especially like walnuts and stuff like that, that will have like the root exudates will affect other plants, and stuff won't grow as well next to them. But I mean, I don't know of any annual vegetables really off the top of my head that would work that way. But man, I'm sure there's something. But yeah, like I said, it's more or less spacing climate.
You got a good climate too. I'm jealous.
Yeah, dude. South is. I mean, you could grow fig trees. You could do a lot of cool stuff. Rosemary.
I'll send you a cutting of my fig tree that I got in a pot, and just plant that sucker on the ground out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I heard that they're pretty easy to clone, from my understanding, and I think Corey, you were saying that as well.
Yeah, I mean, figs are pretty easy to take cuttings off of. So yeah.
Well, if you give me that fig, don't bring that coyote with it. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, right.
Don't do that.
Oh, the poor chicken massacre of 2025. Rest in peace.
Yeah, you're also in prime tobacco country too. So
right.
Yeah.
I bet
I'm looking forward to it
next year. I want to see rows of it.
Trust me, I want to have rows of it. Like, yeah, 100%.
So it's been fun. This has been an awesome grow. We all started them indoors. Nerd, you had quite an impressive plant early on in the season. You were growing it in your tent. You hadn't put it outside yet. You had it in a 5-gallon.
Yeah,
it was a big one.
Still big. It's still it grew like probably 6 inches this week.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Mine were, I put everything out in my garden a little bit too early. So I saw a huge stall in things and how they were moving. But as soon as it warmed up, it was just like it was like they just kept getting bigger and bigger. And I was like, holy shit. Like these things get really big. And like I said, mine didn't get as big as I saw yours, Corey, but in my mind, I wasn't thinking like, oh yeah, those leaves are going to be that freaking big. Like these things are huge.
Yeah, I'm growing a variety this year called Little Yellow, and it is the largest leaves I've ever seen. I'm gonna I take pictures of it, and I don't think people understand like how it does. You can't really see the scale. So when I harvest leaves, I'm gonna have my wife take a picture of me holding one up next to me, because it's probably
like half your body.
Yeah.
It's the other thing of the leaves getting so big and just the whole morphology of the plant. I didn't realize that they were sticky.
Oh yeah, that's sticky.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
very very interesting. So like they're these very like early on they start putting out these like really thick walled leaves, and they early on they're kind of like this really soft, but then it seems like there's like this change where all of a sudden it goes from this little soft petal to like this leathery thick, sticky, and it gets stickier and stickier as the season's gone on, from what I found. What is that sticky? What causes the plant to start doing that?
I don't know specifically, but I'm sure it has to do with obviously like the different compounds in there, nicotine, whatever else, the starches and stuff in the leaf. But I don't know if you guys have ever had like a really good high-end cigar. If you take it and you look at it and you kind of roll it and look at the edge of the wrapper, you'll actually see the little hairs sticking up on it. Yeah.
No kidding.
So
yeah, I've never been a big cigar smoker.
I went through a phase where I had a humidor and everything.
Love a good cigar.
When I took the flowers off yesterday, I noticed the same thing. Super sticky, and it also smelled like so good. It was like sugary, fruity kind of smell.
Yeah, and the flowers too have a really nice fragrance to them.
I was like, I had no idea that like that odor would come off of this plant. It was so cool. Yeah,
there's actually a bunch of like different ornamental tobaccos. One of them called Jasmine that I grow every year for a company because I do a lot of annual plant production. The flowers smell like, I don't know if you guys have ever smelled like jasmine, the plant. It's got a very distinct.
Just the princess.
Just the princess. But it's got a very sweet floral smell to it, and they actually bred this tobacco for the flowers and for it to have that odor. So yeah.
Now, can you still consume those, or are they not really meant for that? Is there like certain varieties that are more?
You could, yeah. They're not really meant for that. So there's the leaf size is smaller, obviously. They don't have the
joint size blunts.
Yeah. I'm sure the nicotine content is lower. I'm not sure how well they would burn either, because different even on tobacco plants that are bred for smoking, different leaves on different heights of the plant will burn differently. I think I talked to you about that a little bit when we were looking at your plant. So the higher you go up on a plant, the higher the concentration of nicotine and other compounds, and they don't burn as well as lower leaves.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
So cigar rollers roll the ligero is the upper leaves. So when you're rolling a cigar, they usually only put like a leaf or two of ligero in a cigar. It's got more flavor and more, like I said, nicotine, but it doesn't burn as well.
Okay. Yep. I imagine that'd be something they would put on the inside of the cigar. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And it was funny too. One of the other things was I kind of joked about it over in the Discord, right? I sent a picture of a shriveled up leaf kind of hanging on the ground, and I was like, I made the joke. I was like, is this considered vine ripe? And that's actually a thing. And I went out and I grabbed them and I kind of got my little rolling thing and then rolled them up in just a joint, and it didn't taste too bad. So it was kind of exciting. What was it that you call? There's a certain thing.
Mud lugs. Yeah, those are the bottommost leaves. They're usually kind of like just right on the ground, so they're pretty dirty. They get a lot of and because they're sticky, there's bugs on them and there's dirt on them, and they kind of they're the first leaves to kind of die. So you usually get like this half, cured leaf that's like sitting on the ground. But like I was telling you, a lot of guys who are tobacco breeders or growers, since it's the first leaf that's ready to be consumable, they'll smoke it to kind of get an idea of, okay, how strong is this plant going to be? What's kind of the flavor? What's the texture going to be? So it's good. It's a good little test.
It felt like that scenario where it's like your first hunt and they say like, oh, you got to eat the heart or something like that, right? Like that's what it felt like. I was like, yeah, I just smoked the shit that I grew. So it's really cool, man. And it's been so much fun to watch these things go. And I don't think that I will have a garden now without them in it. They're an awesome plant. It's been really fun to learn. The smells have been awesome. I do kind of want to let some go to seed next year just so I can see how that plant acts and what it's doing compared to, what we've been trying to do and just keep it in that vegetative state, right? Having all that energy focused into the leaves instead of
focus. He did it. He said it.
Yeah, they look, like I said, they're an ornamental plant too. I've let some varieties just go straight to flower, like just all of them. I think I mentioned it before. I have a variety called Maria that I've grown in the past, and it's a Mexican variety from Oaxaca, and it gets huge. I mean, the plants when they were flowering must have topped out at like 14 feet, something like
Holy
that.
shit.
And yeah, they were taller than my greenhouse, and my greenhouse is 10 feet in the center. So, and they were like a few feet above that. So yeah, it was 12 to 14 feet. I don't know, somewhere around there. But when I went to harvest the seed, I had to jump up and cut the top so I could take it and then put it in a bucket to get the seed. But
felling a tree, just chop it down and then fucking get to it.
But just like cannabis, they're all a little bit different. The kind of the generalities are the same, but some have like wider leaves, smaller leaves, taller plants, different flavors.
I don't know if we had talked about it. This is now the third podcast we've got you on to talk specific, like not just talk about tobacco, but we, each time we got into tobacco, did we ever talk about where is it kind of generally from, or kind of what's an accepted, like, oh, okay, it comes from like this region, or is it kind of like how cannabis is, where like each region has their own variety, their own land race, if you will, of a tobacco variety?
Yeah, I mean, more or less the Americas. So South and North America. North America mainly had Rustica, and then the South America had more of the tobacco gum species, which is the one that we grow for smoking. Okay. So like Native Americans in our area in New England, they would have been smoking more Rustica types. But most of those is still were kind of traveled up from down south. Okay. But yeah, so that's mainly the two varieties, or the two species, I should say. And I mean, there's more than that, but I'm not super familiar with kind of all of them. But those are the two main ones for sure.
Yeah. Those are ones that are relevant in what we're doing today. So it's so cool. And I mean, other than, so like we've talked about like tobacco, because we are getting close to harvest time. Let's talk about harvesting, and kind of, because I know for me it's tough. I think just like, with a new cannabis grower, right? You're looking at it and you're like, I don't know when to harvest, right? There's so many things that you're looking at. And I remember you being in the garden there with me, and you're like, oh yeah, these ones are getting ready. And like, I guess in my mind, it was originally like, all right, you just harvest the whole plant. And I guess you could do that, but that's not necessarily the way that you were talking about it. And so let's talk about harvesting.
Yeah, so I could talk about the two general ways to harvest tobacco are either priming, which is harvesting individual leaves as they're ready, or stalk cutting, which is, you're just cutting the whole plant,
the whole thing down,
hanging it. Most people, or most growers, don't do stalk cutting. That's kind of done mainly for like broadleaf wrapper, or some other types, maybe some, like if you're gonna do chewing tobacco, and I believe they might do that for like oriental type tobaccos that are going to be hung and like smoke cured. But for the home gardener and smaller grower, it's easier to do priming, which, like I said, is just harvesting the individual leaves as they're ready, and it's going to go from the bottom to the top. Okay. And so, like I was saying to you, you'll see the leaves at the bottom start to yellow. It's actually, we're right in the window right now. So my shade tobacco has been ready to harvest since last week. I haven't been able to get to it yet, but you'll see on the leaf, it kind of starts looking like an alligator skin. It's got that texture to it, and you'll see some kind of like, not yellowing spots, but like some yellowing throughout the leaf. And then you'll see the edges of the leaf start to get kind of wavy. And that, like I said, it'll start at the bottom. And then if you go and you kind of grab the leaf or meets the stalk, and you just like pull it down, it should snap right off. Yep. And that's a good indicator that, okay, this is ready to go. And then since you're doing it, you're harvesting, individual leaves. There's two methods I use to kind of, basically hang them up. Yeah. If it's a real heavy, large leaf, I'll take like a piece of wire, like 6 inches. That's a pretty decent gauge, but still flexible. And I'll just stab it right through the end of the stem. And I'll do like 4 or 5 leaves, and I'll kind of, stagger them like back to front. So you get some airflow in between them. Yeah. And then I just make a loop and put it over I have metal, or it's like a wire
Okay.
going across the top of a room,
Gotcha.
like then I just hang those on there.
Okay.
So you could use twine or something like that and just hang them up. The other way to do it is for like smaller stuff, like burley types. I'll just take, same thing, 4 or 5 leaves and just a rubber band. That way, as the leaves cure, right, they're going to shrink a little bit. So the rubber band will contract. Because if you use twine or something and you tie them together, then
that makes sense.
Yeah, once they start drying, like all the leaves are like, they're going to be smaller than the twine, and they just kind of fall out. So use a rubber band and then just hang it in the middle of the, like 2 leaves on each side, and just hang it right off of
let's
wire.
Just like the step just before we're harvesting them. Is there any cleaning that you bother to do? Is there anything that you like pre-harvest or like post-harvest? Like, okay, I just grab these leaves. These are nice and green. And just before I hang them up, are we doing anything with them or that you would recommend?
You can. So if the lower leaves are getting kind of like dirty and got a bunch of bugs on them, what I would do is just get like a tote of some water, and then you could kind of like gently put the leaf in there, swish it around a little bit, and pull it out. And that'll get at least some of the dirt and stuff off. And then if it's really bad, after it's cured, you could just take like a damp paper towel or a brush or something and just brush it off. You don't want to like hose it down, especially if it's a newly harvested leaf, because you're going to break all the cell walls on the outside of the leaf, and then it's not going to cure properly. You're going to get a bunch of green spots on it. Okay. So you just want to be gentle with it. I know some guys, when they harvest their cannabis, they'll dunk them in water, or they'll make a solution, out of like, citric acid or something, just to kind of, and then just dunk everything in there to kind of clean it off. So it's basically the same thought. But I don't usually do that. Like I said, if something's really dirty, then I will, but most of the time I don't bother.
Okay. Fair enough. So we're hanging them up. This is the one thing that I'm still kind of unclear about. It's like we're not drying it, we're curing it. And this is not a slow process. Like, we ain't cutting this down and smoking it in 14 days or, getting our first test like we would from our cannabis plant, right? Like, this is almost as long as we're growing the plant. It's going to be, right? Like it's going to be a while until we can try it.
Yeah, it's about 6 weeks. Some are longer, especially if it's a thick, like broadleaf wrapper. You're looking at 8-week cure time, and then burleys and stuff. You could smoke them after that, but putting age on tobacco definitely makes it taste better. And I recommend a year, but you don't have to do that. That's my preference, but
mine ain't making it either. Like none of my, we always talk, people in the community saying like, oh, I don't touch anything till it's after a certain, age or this or that. Like, I'm getting right into it. I like it fresh. So it'll be interesting to see how that also shows with tobacco, right? Like, try something fresh off of it and then, set some off to the side and cure and be able to compare those differences to your own home grow. So.
Yeah. And I'll say too, like you were saying, you want to cure it, not dry it. So I know I've probably said this every single time you've had me on, but
that's good though.
Yeah,
I think it's
don't dry it out.
Yeah.
Make sure you have between 62% humidity up to 70% humidity. And then if you are getting problems with mold, try to increase your airflow. You could bring the humidity down a little bit, or you could even tear like the middle, the 2 edges of the leaf off of the stem, because the stem's going to hold the most water, and that's probably what's going to mold first. So, but yeah, you want to have that high humidity, because otherwise you're going to get a dry green leaf that tastes like, that's not going to taste good. So
it traps stuff in it that we're trying to basically, is it the chlorophyll that's in there, and that's what we're trying to get rid of, just like cannabis, right?
Yeah. Chlorophyll, ammonias, carbohydrates, all that stuff. Yep. You want all that to break down. I don't know if I know you guys aren't familiar with it, but Candela wrappers used to be very, very popular, and it was basically like a green wrapper on cigars.
Oh, really?
And the way you would do that would be you took a bunch of newly harvested leaves, and in a barn, you would just heat the barn really, really hot, really, really fast, to trap all that chlorophyll in.
Oh shit.
And it was a whole style of wrapper, but it definitely fell out of favor as other.
It's because it tastes like ass.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why it was a thing, but during the 50s and 60s, like pretty much any cigar sold in America had a green wrapper, unless it was like a Connecticut broadleaf or a Connecticut shade. So I don't know.
Huh.
I've had some green ones and they taste like almost like maple syrupy compared to regular.
Okay. Yeah, some say it has like a bitter component to it, which I could see that working where, like as far as like beer goes, like an IPA, sometimes that bitterness could be flavorful, but yeah, I don't know. It's if you're smoking it by itself or you're trying to roll a blunt with it, it's going to just not taste good at all.
So my plan was, because like my house is super dry, so my plan was I have like plant racks, so I was thinking about putting them in the garage and hanging them in there. Is that a bad idea?
No, that's fine too. If you have like drying racks that you're not using, you could just lay the leaves on those. You just want to make sure you're not stacking them on top of each other. You know what I mean? You just want to do like one layer of leaves and then one layer of leaves, but yeah, that should be fine. And then just put a fin in there and put it, just a little sensor.
Martha tent, but I can take the plastic off of it.
What was it? What was that?
I have like a little Martha tent or whatever they're called, like the racks. Is that what they're called?
Like the like those small greenhouses that they
have like a shower curtain over them, and it's like shelved.
Gotcha. Yeah, that works too. Yep. Yeah, just like I said, keep an eye on the humidity. If it drops down too low, you could even throw like I've done if you're working in an enclosed space, you could even just put like a bucket of water with like a towel going into the water, hanging over the side, so you get some evaporation, and to keep the humidity up.
Yeah, I think your garage, I imagine the humidity is going to be up because it's not a is it all insulated or stuff like that? So I mean I imagine it's probably as humid as it is outside, and
pretty close.
a little bit warmer than what it would be outside.
But the having central air, the inside of my house is dry as hell, so it's not it'd be hard. I think.
Bet you, though, if you did use that Martha tent, I bet you could have that in your basement and do what he was saying was by putting that bucket at the bottom. I think that would keep some decent humidity in that tent.
Yeah, that works. I'll see you. I'll go check it out after this.
Yeah. So my plan was to either I'm kind of on the fence right now. I don't know if I'm just going to hang it in my basement or if I'm going to go ahead and put it in my grow room and just dry it in there, because I will actually be able to control it. And I'm not setting my not getting my grow going anytime soon. But then I'm also like, okay, I'm about to bring some plants that I've just had outside, and I'm going to be putting in my grow room. Like that's just saying, like I'm just like that. There's pests, right?
Yeah,
like I'm going to be bringing that shit in there, so I'm like, that's not ideal either. But yeah. Well,
I mean, if you put them inside of one of your tents, then at least you have a little bit of a like a quarantined area, and then you can just make sure you clean the tent out. Yeah. So but yeah, no, I feel you on that.
We're gonna figure it out. That was the one thing with all this, man. It was like, yeah, like okay, we can grow it. Like that's not gonna be a problem. This is kind of the important. Like we're getting to the point where like we've got to start paying attention on that stuff, because if we fuck up this cure, it's just like fucking up the dry and cure on cannabis.
Yeah, once you get it once and you kind of get your area dialed in, it's more or less set it and forget it. Like, sure. I check on everything once every 3 days just to make sure there's nothing like crazy going on. But other than that, it's just let it do its thing.
So we hang it up. It's curing. We are getting ready to bring this down. And how are we able to tell that it's getting to that point? Is it just like, okay, this is, we look at the calendar and it's exactly, this is 6 to 8 weeks, we're going to pull it down. what are some of the things that we're looking at this tobacco leaf and it's telling us, okay, it's ready for us to take it down off the cure and put it into something?
Yeah, well, you'll see the color change over time. It'll be extremely, apparent. It'll go from a green yellow, it'll get more yellow, it'll look, wilty. Then all of a sudden it'll start kind of getting like a brownish color. And then, some will get like more like a reddish brown. And yeah, I mean, you can tell here, for anyone watching, you can see.
Yep.
A nice brown color. It's very uniform. It doesn't have any green or yellow spots on it. If you have some green spots on it, that's okay. Some leaves are gonna, cure better than others, but that's basically it. You're looking for the color, and then try smoking a little bit of it. If it's smooth and it's got that nice flavor to it. If it's a burley, if it's got kind of like that rich nutty flavor to it, then or if it's a broadleaf and it's got a little bit of sweetness to it, okay, this is we're done with the curing process. Now we can start to age it. If it's still kind of harsh, if you're getting kind of an ammonia flavor to it, then I'd leave it go for a little bit longer. And then after curing it, if depending on how long you want to age it, you do want to keep it in a little bit more humid environment, but not humid enough to where it's going to mold. Sure. So, they call it being in case. You just don't want it like the leaf so dry that if you touch it, it's going to be brittle and break apart. Yeah.
I'd be interested, because I know these guys over here do use this. The wood moisture meter, I think is a good tool that we use, cannabis related, right? Where we can tell that moisture content in the bud. I'm interested. I'd actually like to. I don't know if you've ever done this before. I don't know if there is a certain, that like that range that you're looking for, like when that color shows up and when you're like, okay, this is ready. Check it with the moisture meter and see what that is, and then you kind of have something dialed in where you can put, number values to what you're seeing and when it's done.
No, that's actually a really good idea. I don't know what the number would be off the top of my head, but I'm going to I'll see if I could look it up. And if not, like we'll definitely have to play around with that and see if we can come up with something. Cause that's an excellent idea, especially for somebody who, they've never done it before. To give them some numbers, it definitely,
that's what I'm saying is I think that it goes across the board for a lot of things. Like I know you heard the press is something that I always have. Anytime you can put those numbers on things, and when it's very clear and concise what I'm saying. Like you have to do this until this, and you're going to be able to match that. And now what I'm talking about, instead of just saying like, oh, it's kind of like this, or like you just got to look for this, and you're like, maybe I'm not seeing, or I don't see exactly what you're saying. When you can put numbers to things like that, it's so much easier to shoot it out to somebody else.
I looked it up. It says drying ranges from 11 to 13%. So it's relatively the same. Like
cannabis.
Yeah. I mean, cannabis is more 10, 11%, but roughly it's different. Looks like cigar tobaccos between 12 to 15%.
Okay. Yeah. That seems right. Yeah. Where did you find that?
It says kingstontech.com.
Okay. Yeah.
King Team. I'm sorry. I can't read shit. It is weird. kingteam-tech.com. That's where I read it.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks.
Larry's Tobacco Supplies and Steakhouse.
Dude, you guys don't know about tobacco steaks?
Tobacco steaks.
Oh, good Lord. That'd be great.
I was actually listening to a podcast the other day, and there's this a cigar guy who owns a cigar company down in South America, and he went into this whole thing about tobacco steaks, where like they were wrapping like steaks in tobacco leaves and then like slow cooking them for like 24 hours, and then like he said it tasted awesome, and I was like, this is
very interesting.
It's kind of random, but yeah, so
that's funny.
Maybe we'll have to try it sometime. Next cookout, man. Tobacco steaks.
Yeah. That sounds good, dude. Let's do it.
That's it.
Wrap them up. Wrap it up.
Like I was telling you, we've got that. There's a local butcher, a local farm that we can get stuff that was made right here locally. We can have a farm to table dinner. That'd be pretty
straight
sweet.
Farm the nug.
Yeah.
We're eventually going to be creating a new segment on this show called "Help Paranoid Become a Farmer." And since you're here, I'm going to get you to help me. But my main question right now is: do you recommend either a straw or a cowboy hat?
Personally, I'm a straw hat kind of guy.
Okay.
So I rocked a straw, like an Amish style straw hat for years. I've gone to the baseball cap now. I have a jute one, so it looks like that. It's like that fibery, almost looks like hemp. But yeah, do the straw, dude. Do the straw.
Well, yeah. What I mean is it better for like airflow? Is that what it is?
Yes, I think so. Also, too, it looks better. I feel like you play the part better.
You do look cooler in a straw hat.
Yeah,
really? Okay. Yeah. I've got some pictures of me in some straw hats from back in the day. I'll have to wrangle them up. Yeah.
That's fucking great. That is too funny.
I want to make one that looks like just a giant flat brim snapback. So I have a sun hat, but still have my like New York swag, you know?
Is there any kind of like final stuff that maybe we missed or anything you'd recommend for somebody in this first grow in this section that we're at? Yeah.
So another thing I'll say about doing curing and long-term aging is like the 62% humidity packs. If you have like a wide mouth, glass jar, you could always, when the tobacco is moist enough, you could just shove it in there with like a 62% humidity pack. And that'll keep it in that like perfect moisture range for long-term aging. And then the other thing is hopefully I can get to it today, but if not, by the end of day Monday, I'm going to try and put out a video on harvesting. So I'll just do a quick video of how I harvest my tobacco, and I'll post that. So
sweet.
Yeah.
Excited to see that. Yeah, we're getting close to that. And that was kind of my thing is like, when you were here, you were talking about we're getting close to that harvesting. You even said there was a couple of them that you could probably harvest. And I was like, I'm just going to wait, because you put out these little videos, throughout this whole grow, you would post these little short videos of kind of what's going on with your tobacco plants. And it's been very helpful. It's a lot. I know for me, over just talking over text or, seeing that, actually seeing a video and you showing and explaining what it is you're doing, what you're looking for. So that's been a big help. So I'd like to thank you for that. So that's why I've been waiting to harvest anything, because I'm waiting for you to put that video out so I know exactly what to do.
Oh, you'll do fine. Don't worry about it, man.
Well, I appreciate that.
I just lost the whole run.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and like we said, your grow has unfortunately took a major hit recently. You have your first photo grow, and we had some tragedies, man. Lay it on us.
Did very bad at it. Nah, so so I've been growing photos for the first time. So up to this point, I've only grown autos, and I've always done perpetual. Yep. So I drastically overlooked the humidity aspect of having 4 giant plants and veg. These were huge too, right? Because they were like 4 feet tall when I like flipped. And I was at work one day and I looked, and the humidity was like 98 in the tent. And then I get home and everything is soaking wet. Yeah. And then I washed the whole tent, dried everything off, and then worked with it for a couple days to try to get the humidity corrected. And then one day I walked in, saw some PM on a couple leaves, and decided to wipe the whole run, which I'm glad I did, because when I cut the plants down and pulled all the pots out, there was just like a huge mold clump in the corner of the tent. It was just like a big white blob in the corner. And I was like, all right. So I washed my whole tent, scrubbed everything. I scrubbed it multiple times. And then now I'm starting the auto perpetual back up. So I just planted strawberry widow.
So what ultimately do we feel like the problem was? Was it just we weren't used to having that much material in that tent and couldn't control it?
Yeah, it's not like the humidifier was running or anything. And then I even like loosened the restrictions on my exhaust so it could have some more wiggle room. Yep. And that didn't work. I even tried opening all the flaps. So like risking like light leaks to try to do it, opening the flaps. Opening the flaps didn't work because I'm venting back inside, so it was just sucking the humid air back in. But so it either came down. Well, I had to wipe it because of the mold, but then it came down to like I probably need a dehumidifier for the basement, but I also don't want to spend the money on that. But so I'll definitely buy one. Yeah, I'll buy one before I do photos again. But for now, because like I usually set it up where I have like one seedling, one veg, one pre-flower, and one flower, and then the humidity kind of regulates itself, right? 'Cause the seedling likes the adult and all that.
Yep.
But having 4 plants in pre-flower at once was way too much water in the air.
Well, that was I was like every once in a while you'd send pictures like, hey, are you getting ready to flip? Like those are getting mighty big there, buddy.
I even tried defoliate. I took like a whole garbage bag of leaves out, and it dropped the humidity by like 2%. So I was at 96 instead of 98. Also to get my head stash back up, I just got my replacement light from AC Infinity.
Oh yeah.
So I did the warranty, and I have 8 bonsais going in there right now, and they're all either Mephisto or Speedrun.
Nice.
Like, let me, because I had a whole bunch of seeds where I only had one of them, so I was like, let me just knock off a bunch of those all at once, and then I'm gonna do all BGG for the perpetual for the first run.
Nice. Have you decided which ones you're gonna run from them?
Yeah, so I have the Strawberry Widow, and then whatever the other auto fems from that pack were, and then I also have Odin Sons, and I have something else.
Well, that'll be really cool to see, because I think usually when he drops those packs, the different varieties and like what the parents brought to it. So that'll be cool to see 4 different varieties together.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Just get back. I wanted to try something different because I've been running at Perpetual for a year now, but didn't even think like the reason why I've been running it for a year now is because I had it dialed in so well. Not realizing that trying a different growth style, I'd have to recalibrate everything.
Yeah. I run into a similar problem, not with humidity, but like every time I go back to photos, because I'm so used to doing autos inside now, I end up with plants that I'm like vegging for like 6 months because like I don't know, it's just like I can't get them in anywhere. It doesn't. Yeah. So I know the feeling.
Well, we just like to be an auto grower.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah, I constantly change up between autos and photos. So I have to, when I set a new tent, I have to immediately set the parameters on my the AC Infinity controller. I just immediately do that every single time because I don't want to run into that exact same issue. I'm so worried about walking into a rainforest in my bedroom. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Everything was soaked. I was like, God damn.
That is the one thing I like though about being able to have the AC Infinity controller that you can hook up to your phone, because it gives you heads up. So and that was funny actually, when you were over at my house, for the cookout, you're like, dude, my tent's been at like 90 something percent for like all
the whole time I've been here.
He's like, I don't
and
know,
I can't do anything.
Home till he was like, oh no, I'm so sorry. Dude.
Came home the mold.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to see what you do going forward, and the perpetual grow that we have to. You're going to make a little change though, right? You have to get some cut off or shut off valves, since
if I'm doing a perpetual, I actually placed the order for them the other day, so I'm just waiting for them to come.
Cool.
Then that way I can control the water to each pot.
Yeah. Well, this will be cool to see now that you're going back to your normal auto grows, and the only thing that's different now is the auto pots. So it'll be cool to see how your style goes, and what you come up with.
Yeah, I'm excited. Because like watering, even with the city pickers, like me being lazy about watering has always been a thing. So having the auto pots, that gives me a little more buffer room, especially like I've said before, like usually Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays are super busy for me. So I usually don't get to the garden until Thursday on most weeks. So I need something where I could go 3 days without really doing anything.
I think this will be a good setup for you, man. it's going to be good. I think you'll notice a big difference. Big difference. Well, I hated to hear the story, and I'm sorry that you lost your plants, but I think that was like you said, it's a good learning, right? And I think it's definitely why, like, when you're like one thing I find with when you're talking with people and trying to explain how to grow, or you're comparing grows, like this is where it comes into it. There's so many different variables, and we can only do what we can do, and sometimes it's hard to share that information because someone else is doing something different, so
Yeah, I need to be like a microbiologist or something because I can grow mold like so good. This is like my fourth time getting PM.
What are you doing for your IPM for powdery mildew? Do you do anything?
Hopes and prayers.
Oh, so if it's just like one little spot, I'll usually either cut that piece of the plant off, and then I have Captain Jack Super Soap, and then I'll like spray the tent with it.
Okay. You're not using anything, like you're not spraying the plants with anything?
No.
Okay.
Not really. I have neem oil, but I've never used it.
Okay. Cause yeah, I know there's a couple things. I use cease, which is a Bacillus subtilis. It's beneficial bacteria, colonizes the leaf surface, so that helps prevent powdery mildew. And then if I actually see PM, I'll use Millstop, which is, I think it's potassium bicarbonate. So
Okay.
that works really well.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely look into that. That is a common issue.
Does labs kind of outcompete that mold, like some sort of lactobacillus?
Yeah, that'll do the same thing too.
Okay.
Actually,
do you use like a fogger or just like a spray can?
I use a regular sprayer, but actually, UConn, University of Connecticut, did a bunch of studies with using milk.
Yeah. Yep.
I've read that as well.
Yeah. No, it works. It works well.
Well, boys, I appreciate you all hanging out. I think we're at the end here. Unless you got anything else, Nerd, Paranoid,
I'm good.
Corey,
All set.
I'm good.
Shut this bitch down. I appreciate everybody hanging out. Thank you again to Corey for all this help with the tobacco grow along. I appreciate you coming out to the house and hanging out with all of us, and joining us for another episode, man. This has been fun as always talking with you. I will see you next week in person. You, Kumar, myself, I believe, is we're going to be going to King Gizzard. So I'm excited, and yeah,
that sounds fun.
Yeah, full orchestra. So yeah.
Kick ass. I am going to be tired the next day going to work.
Yep.
But I will deal with it because it's going to be fucking awesome. So, but I appreciate you guys hanging out. Corey, you got anything else you want to anything else before we get out of here?
That's it. I guess you can check me out on Instagram or check out my website, Phocas Seeds, spelled PHOCAS.
Yeah. Paranoid.
Grateful.
You motherfucker.
I thought he was going to say no again.
Oh, wait. Oh, what are we doing? Are we saying bye?
You got anything else?
Oh.
Say goodbye to the fucking people.
Oh, goodbye.
See you guys,
folks.